Global warming and climate change are real. Their impacts are seen all around us. The Philippines, being located along the Ring of Fire and in the typhoon belt of the large Pacific Ocean, has suffered from enormous numbers of disasters brought by typhoons like Ondoy or Ketsana, Sendo or Washi, Pablo or Bofa, and the super typhoon Yolanda or Haiyan, and other natural disasters. The disasters did not only destroy houses and other infrastructures and caused massive displacement of thousands of families, but also caused tremendous death of thousands of people. The Philippine government has now acknowledged these facts. Laws were promulgated to mainstream disaster risk reduction and climate change mitigations and adaptations. These laws are good, but they remain good on paper only, unless they are enforced. And enforcement of these laws is a big challenge, especially in the local governments. That is why a project entitled Promoting Risk-Sensitive Shelter Planning was implemented by the Alternative Planning Initiatives, or Alterplan, and the Danish International Human Settlement Service, or DIB, in partnership with the local people's organizations, NGOs, and local government units. This was implemented in selected villages in 4 pilot areas in the Philippines. These areas were selected based on their exposure to hazards, risks, and vulnerability to natural disasters. The project advocated a grassroots planning process which involved participatory situational analysis pertaining to its local area's physical, cultural, environmental, and socioeconomic conditions, and is aimed at producing a disaster risk-sensitive shelter plan at the village level.
Wala man kaming kasiguruhan na itong natitirikan namin mapapasa amin.
Nga po na kami ay nasa tabing ilog, tuwing bagyo, tuwing baha, umaapaw dito yung tubig, may kasamang putik.
Bumabaha po talaga dito kasi yung ano ng tubig dito galing na yun.
Maraming problema dito sa amin kasi maliit yung daanan. Pag magkasunog, hindi makakapasok yung mga vehicles. Tapos, walang drainage, maayos na drainage. At saka, pag bumaha, lampas tao yung tubig.
Dirigit sa amo, kuyaw na gyud kung magpanahon na sa ulan na gusto kay naadog nilang slide area.
BDR-SSP employed strategies of partnership and collaboration with the participation of the people from the community.
And when you engage people, there are a lot of advantages there. For example, you would really get to know what they need. Then, your sustainability is assured because the community helps you every step of the way. This is what empowerment is about: engaging them, letting them participate, letting them decide on the direction of the project. Because we did not just ask for their opinion, but also involve them every step of the way. Then they are more eager to put their own input.
Community involvement is very important because when they're part of the project, they give their full participation and cooperation. So they have the feeling of ownership of the project, so they give 100% support to the project.
Mahalaga yung partisipasyon ng civil society, ng mga NGO or PO, People's Organizations, para mas maging effective ang mga programang ini-implement ng ating local government units and national government agency. At mahalaga rin yun na ma-articulate mo yung pangangailangan mismo base sa pangangailangan ng ating mga lokalidad.
In producing a comprehensive disaster risk-sensitive shelter plan, participants from the local communities underwent series of capacity-building workshops in order to enhance and develop further their knowledge and expertise on shelter planning. These activities were facilitated by Alterplan, DIB, and NGO partner in their respective area.
Marami talaga kaming natutunan na hindi namin napag-aralan sa school.
Para kaming mga engineer.
Halos 10 activity ang ginawa namin ditong pag-training.
The involvement of the local community members in planning and analysis eventually led them to give more attention to higher risk and vulnerable households that are exposed to hazards that has relevant impact to housing and other social issues.
Tinuruan po kami kung paano mag-gather ng data, mag-mapping, mag-datos, at doon po namin napag-alaman na pwede po pala namin alisin yung mga tao o yung mga household, yung mga families na under po sa talagang totally high-risk na lugar.
Ang activity karon sa ICESDev the vegetable training propagation and planting. So diri mi sa slope area aron makakita kung unsay pangita sa control lines, paghimo sa apron. It is a training pero actual siya, so dali na kayo nasabtan sa mga participants. Ito ning balikan ang vetiver sa clamp grass nga ako kayo gamit for the control of erosion.
Nag-ano kami nung sa relocation site kung saan pwedeng i-relocate yung mga informal settler.
Nagtanaw mi karon diri og vetiver grass para pag-protect sa suba nga ang suba nga dili mo dako og ayo kay ang yuta na hurot na gyud og kanang kankan sa tubig na mas maayo nga nakatanom mi karon diri og vetiver para dili na jud siya mo dili na mahurot ang yuta og kaon sa tubig.
Hinaut-unta pod nga sa tanan nga nakadungog ani maghimusab sila og kaning pagtanom usab sa mga sagbot nga vetiver grass para protektar sa kayutaan.
Itong kabahayan na ito, talagang danger zone na talaga sila. Sila yung dapat kauna-unahang lagyan ng protection o flood control protection kasi malapit sa ilog.
Finally, a disaster risk-sensitive shelter plan designed to lessen the exposure to hazard was made by each pilot area.
So, this is the result of all the trainings in mga outputs sa ato ang mga people's organizations.
Parang proud kami, syempre, dahil yung book nakita na namin, yun na pala yung pinagpagura namin. Yun na yung mga natutunan namin na i-dokumento, naging book pala. Syempre, tuwang-tuwa kami sa sarili namin na kaya din pala namin mga ordinaryong tao lang na makagawa ng gano'n.
Well, there's always a challenge for the BDRSP and the three barangays to be included in the City Development Council as well as inclusion to the annual investment plan.
Actually, nahatag na nimo sa barangay na siya ordinance and also a resolution. Kay daghan man pud may na come up nga mga solusyon. And gikan gina siya dari sa ato ang nabuhat nga output gikan sa atong mga tawo.
The BDRSP is actually a document from the community that spells out the different shelter plans, and one of the purpose in having these documents is for the BDRSP to be included in the annual investment plan as well as in the city land use plan, because the data and information contained in the BDRSP are actually the data and information that are needed for the barangays to be included in the annual investment plan.
Through the formulation of the shelter planning, we were able to identify the different issues and the problems of the community, including the populations at risk, and at the same time, identify the mitigation measures that the local government unit can prioritize for implementation.
Parang may fulfillment na nararamdaman kami. Kasi unang-una, sino ba naman po kami? Parang kami yung naging way na yung maliit na problema, yung malaking problema, parang bigyan ng solusyon.
We feel honored to be part of this endeavor. With this particular project, we were able to really help them settle. But when we're talking about them, it's not just the people, the residents, but also the LGUs who themselves are learning how to be able to serve their constituents better. It also enabled us to build our competency in matters of housing in the context of disasters.
I believe that the BDR-SSP project should be replicated in other areas, not just here in Iligan City, but also to other areas in the country, especially those barangays vulnerable to disasters like floods, landslides, and other natural calamities. Such kind of projects will be very beneficial to the country since this will serve as models in preventing casualties, displacements, huge property damages, and wasted government resources.
Ligao City has started a project in 3 barangays, namely Barangay Tinago, Barangay Bagong Bayan, and Barangay Tupuran. Because of the effectivity of the mode of how we have done the project, we are now doing this in 3 other barangays, the coastal barangays of the city, namely Kabarian, Katburawan, and Maonon of Ligao.
The DRSSP process did not only build projects that mitigated risk and hazards or build safer shelters, it also developed communities of resilient and empowered people. Indeed, the synergy of the DRSSP project partners demonstrated a milestone of a democratic, relevant, and effective governance.